Hey everyone, SalmonPink's here. It's that time of year again where I put together a 20 plus some odd minute video talking about all my favorite games of the year and ramble about why I enjoyed them so much. Speaking of rambling, I've noticed that in my past games of the year videos, I tend to get sidetracked talking more about the game itself rather than why I enjoyed playing it, which is the very reason why I'm making these videos in the first place. So this year, I'll do my best to try and keep it nice and concise. But please forgive me if I do get carried away with some of these games. I am very passionate about pretty much every game on this year's list. A lot of them are new personal favorites of mine. And tell me, dear viewers, are you looking for your next favorite game? Well, look no further, because the sponsor of today's video, Raid Salmon Legends, has you covered. Raid Salmon Legends is an exciting mobile fishing RPG with hundreds of champions to choose from. I'm not sponsored. This video isn't sponsored. I've deceived you all. Okay, for the 1% of you who didn't click off the video just now, thank you for entertaining me. You all get a gold star. And just before I get started here, I've got to go over one thing. This video and all of the opinions expressed in it are subjective matter. That means everything I expressed in this video are influenced, decided upon, and delivered by my own feelings and thoughts. In other words, you may not agree with my list, the rankings, or the games on it, but that's totally fine. Lately, I've just been getting busier and busier, and I've sadly missed out on a ton of great games just because I don't have the time to play them all. But if there is something I missed, and you really liked, you can let me know in the comments or on Twitter, at the SalmonPink, and we can chat about it. Now, enough with the shilling and opinions, let's get to the video. Number 10. This year, I'm going to start my list with the best game that nobody has played. It's a 2D platformer with an incredibly comfy aesthetic, beautiful music, and a simple yet heart-wrenching story you wouldn't believe. The Liar Princess and the Blind Prince is a short and sweet tale about the titular characters of the same persona, and it captured my heart immediately. The gameplay is nothing complex, and is more of a catalyst for telling this story. But this game does that incredibly well. You play as the princess, who is actually a wolf in disguise, and have to guide the prince through the forest, making sure to keep him safe from all the dangers that lurk within it. There are simple platforming puzzles that you have to solve to progress, but they are actually a lot of fun, as a good number of them require you to position the prince away from danger, or instruct him to walk a certain direction while you stand on a switch. But that's all I want to say about the game for now. My only other recommendation is that you make yourself a cup of tea, hot chocolate, or other warm beverage of your choice while you're going through the story segments, because this game is super comfy. Number 9. The next game on my list is an incredible addition to an already fantastic series. The long-awaited next entry that I couldn't have been more excited for. Many of you already know what I'm talking about, as the game is just outstanding and so much fun to explore and experience. Just hearing this music gives me goosebumps and is making me want to go back and play some more. That's right, the next game up is Dragon Quest Builders 2. Yeah, you heard me. What, you thinking of another game? No, can't be right. Oh, wait, did you forget what I said not 2 minutes ago? Opinion! Too bad. Hoes mad. Yeah, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is everything I wanted in a sequel. If you remember my video last year, I mentioned Dragon Quest Builders in my honorable mentions, but this game is just straight improvements from that, and it's actually incredible. There's now a dedicated grab button, so you can rearrange things without having to destroy them first. You can dash and fast travel to get to certain parts of the world faster. There's even more things to collect and build. The story is actually a lot better, and is integrated into the gameplay really seamlessly. You have a companion that joins you and can help with battles and collecting. And guess what? You can pet the dog! But yeah, I just really love this game. It's honestly just good fun and a good creative outlet. Go give the demo a try. You might actually like it. It's surprisingly fun. Alright, let me talk about Dragon Quest XI's real quick. It's godlike. Like, hot damn, this game is fire. I'm glad it really scratches that itch for a good traditional RPG, while still keeping it new and fresh. I love everything from the battles, the towns and the ridiculous NPCs, the overworld and the exploration, and the story is exciting too. That being said, I still need to finish it because like any good RPG, it's like 100 hours and I have no time. Number 8. FromSoft is back at it again with another hit, this time in Sengoku era Japan, with an awesome stealth action game. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice isn't your normal Soulsborne game. In fact, it feels far from it. In Dark Souls, the combat is slow and methodical, and in Bloodborne, the combat is fast and focused on dodging. Sekiro throws both of these out of the window and says, screw it. Stealth kills, and for unavoidable combat, stand your ground. In fact, one of the things I love most about Sekiro is how it challenges our preconceptions about a difficulty in a game, as well as how games don't have to end once the player or enemy NPCs die. Even more, the health bar in Sekiro isn't quite the traditional health bar that one would be used to, as the key to victory lies in posture. If you can block and deflect enemy strikes, you'll fill up their posture. Fill it up enough to break their posture, and you can go in for a death blow to deal some serious damage, or end a fight entirely. But if you have your own posture broken, you will become much more vulnerable and risk losing your life. And the difficulty in Sekiro is challenging, I'll give it that, but I feel like even more than ever it feels fair because every battle feels like a duel. And when you have just you and your opponent, you can see all of their strikes coming, and you have the chance to counterattack. This is why this game shines when you avoid the mob battles, where you tend to get overwhelmed since your moveset isn't that well equipped to dealing with a lot of enemies, which emphasizes the lone wolf shinobi that the main character is. I still have to finish Sekiro, but everything about this game is incredible, and I love it. Number 7. Alright, this one may come as a bit of a surprise seeing how it's relatively low on my list, although it could have easily been my game of the year had I actually been able to play it. Although, I need to give credit where credit is due, and maybe I'll give it the award of the best game I never got to play this year. Monster Hunter World Iceborn. It's both an expansion and a whole new game, and it's looking to be one of the best entries in my favorite series ever. The dev team at Capcom really pulled all the stops for this one, and all the current and planned updates have been incredible so far. All of the monsters they've added and brought back, the smooth and rewarding gameplay, Iceborn is more of what I love about Monster Hunter World, and although I haven't played it, you can bet that once it drops on PC come January 9th next year, that I will literally only be playing that for the foreseeable future. Can I get a F in the chat for all of the other games of 2020 that I'll be missing because of this damn game I love so much? Oh, also, hashtag bring Gore Magala to Iceborn. Let's get it trending, people. I need my son back in glorious HD, please! Number 6. Okay, y'all, I'm about to tell you about the cutest, most colorful, most incredibly positive energy game of the year. Heck, this too could be my game of the year. I just keep coming back to it over and over again because it's so heckin' good. Mustache is my new favorite rhythm game. It's simple to pick up and has a fairly good level of difficulty for beginners, returning players, and pros alike. The entire basis of the game is overflowing with cute, comfy energy. Everything from colorful designs to the baller music tracks, this is my go-to game for a great night. But here's what got me really hooked on the game. The beat map is structured like an adventure game, where waves of enemy minions are the beats. There are various obstacles to be avoided, and mostly every stage also has a boss that will show up and shoot projectiles at you to the beat or the offbeat of the rhythm. It's actually super neat, and I love the theming of it. And I already know what at least one of you is gonna say. But Salmon, you just like the game because it's got cute anime waifus. To which I respond, heck yeah, it's got cute anime waifus. Sure, some of their alternative outfits are a little risque, but you know what? The game knows it and doesn't take it too seriously, and I don't think we should either. Mustache is just incredible, and there have been a ton of updates adding new songs and quality of life features since launch. You're honestly gonna have a great time playing this. I know I do. Number 5. So for my next game, I need to preface with something since I may be in the minority of people who actually enjoyed it. Sure, the story isn't simple and clean, and not many people can take Sanctuary in the gameplay, but when I face my fears and open my mind, I don't think twice about how much I love this game. Yep, we're talking about Kingdom Hearts 3 here. Let me plead my case here. I understand that the game isn't perfect, and that there are a lot of unfavorable aspects to it, and that the background music in the Toy Story world can get so passively infuriating that it makes you want to close the game forever and never want to touch it again. Ah! But the good parts of the game make it more than worth it. The gameplay is super fun and varied when you don't need to spam the overpowered attraction flow attacks that are so obviously trying to get people into a certain theme park in real life. And the themes to each of the levels are really fun too. Heck, I spent more time in the Pirates of the Caribbean level gathering white crabs to upgrade my ship, traveling to all of the islands, searching for treasures above and below the water, and doing ship combat, more than almost anything because it was just so much fun. But honestly, the game is a great closing entry to the Kingdom Hearts story, and it covers most of the major plot points really well, leaving really only one of them open after you beat the game, which I believe is going to be addressed in the upcoming Remind DLC coming out this January. My only complaint really is that Donald will never shut up about constantly telling me that this looks like a good spot to find some ingredients.
This might be a good spot to find some ingredients. This might be a good spot to find some. This might be a good spot to find some. This might be a good spot to find some ingredients. This might be a good spot.
Enough with it, Donald. Number 4. I hope you all brought your police-issued booty shorts, cause we're gonna need them for some primetime Chimera slaying. Astral Chain is the new standard for fast-paced action games, and it has the perfect balance between combat and exploration. The floor for learning is quite high as the controls are quite complex, but if you can get over the hurdle, you'll be rewarded with some of the most unique and interesting combat that Platinum Games has to offer. Astral Chain is everything I want in a game like this. All the visual aesthetics for the futuristic setting are so clean. There are tons of upgrades and customization for you and your legions, and there are so many secrets in the game to be found. Also, each level has cats hidden in them that you can rescue and bring to a safe house. How could you not love this game after hearing that? I'll definitely be coming back to replay this game in the years to come. It's just that fun. Number 3. Long have we trained, the weight we have sustained, a game we now gained, now we bloodstained. Ah, it's finally here, and it was so worth the wait. Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is the legacy of Metroidvanias put into action. It's everything I wanted and more. All of the music, the level design, the weapon design, the enemy and boss design, the flow of the game, the exploration. It's all sublime. And you know what? Being primed with Curse of the Moon last year has just got my hype levels even higher, as I've already been introduced to a lot of the characters and major bosses, so I already have some attachment to them and get really excited when I find them and get to fight them. Another thing I really like is that as you explore, you'll learn about special techniques for a certain weapon or class of weapons, and that'll give you access to command inputs for them that give you more options for combat. There's also plans for 13 free, high-quality DLCs to be added that include a co-op mode, a New Game Plus, a boss rush mode, a roguelike dungeon, a speedrun mode, multiple new playable characters, a nightmare difficulty, a classic mode reminiscent of Curse of the Moon, and so much more. I am in love with everything this game has to offer, and I am so glad it's turning out as great as it was envisioned many years ago. Please, if there's one game on my list this year that I can convince you to try, let it be Bloodstained. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Number 2. What do you get when you have the genius behind games like 999 and Virtue's Last Reward make a murder mystery detective game where you solve riddles and ascertain clues by diving into the dreams of suspects? The Somnium Files, Kotaro Uchikoshi's newest game, and yet another game that could have been my game of the year. I'm gonna try and keep what I say about this one to be a bit more general because the story is a huge part of this game and I don't want to spoil all the amazing things it has to offer. The game has multiple segments, parts where you're conducting an investigation, searching for clues, interviewing persons of interest and suspects, and then you have the sync sequences, where you dive into the subconscious of certain suspects to find out what connection they have to the case and what secrets they may be hiding. And hot damn do things pick up. The story gets really good and really twisted as you get further in. But the game is a ton of fun. As you piece together the clues you find, you really do feel like you're solving a great mystery. There was even this really cool ARG leading up to the release of the game, where one of the characters became a virtual YouTuber and had their own Twitter account too. It was so much fun to follow, and all of the videos are still up too. Give them a watch if you plan on playing the game. It really helps set the mood. Speaking of characters, the cast is super fun and interesting too. Aiba is by far my favorite character.
Did you witness my superior driving technique?
But ASET is really awesome too, and
It's internet sensation Tessa! ASET! You bet!
Yup!
oh gosh, it's Tessa. Can I even afford a cameo in my videos?
Water!
Wet, sweat, ASET,
Fierce!
upset, regret, ASET,
Shadows!
threat, silhouette, ASET,
It's the brand new star of the net world, Tessa! Also known as...
ASET, you bet.
Wow, my catchphrase! Thank you!
Wow, thanks for showing up, Tessa. You're the best. Honorable mentions. Okay, remember what I said earlier? Yeah, this is the part of the video where I'm going to list off some games that I either couldn't get around to due to time restraints, or that just came short of making my list this year. Let's go. God Eater 3. I really tried getting into the God Eater series, but I could never get hooked on it with one or two. But I did find myself strangely addicted to God Eater 3 this year. As a fan of the hunting genre, I feel like this one really hits home, as it's much more of a fast-paced hunting game, almost like an arcade beat-em-up, but it is a ton of fun to play, both solo and with friends. Tetris 99. What if we took Tetris and turned it into a battle royale? Unless... Yeah, that pretty much sums it up. It's fun too, give it a try. Devil May Cry 5. And the winner of the edgiest, most badass game of the year goes to... Hell yeah, DMC 5 is wild. Bang, 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 pull my devil trigger. Code Vein. It's anime Dark Souls, what's not to like? Ugh, this game is sitting in my library just waiting to be played. I really want to sit down and go through it soon. Daemon X Machina. Bruh, like, another game that's also sitting in my library just waiting to be played. But it's so heckin' cool. Also, it has collaborations with Eureka 7, Code Geass, and The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is getting collabs with everything nowadays. Dante from the Devil May Cry series has a challenger now. Untitled Goose Game. Yeah, this is just an amazing game. Like, I'm so glad it exists. Bless this goose and all the trouble it causes. The Outer Worlds. It's like if Fallout 76 wasn't a total disappointment. Jokes aside, this game's insane. Like, the level of detail in the writing, environments, and gameplay is just fantastic. Looking forward to playing this one a ton. Ring Fit Adventure. Alright, normally I'd say I'm gonna sit you down to play this one, but it involves getting fit, so get off your lazy asses and play this amazing exercise RPG adventure. It's gimmicky, yeah, but do you get fit? Yeah, and it's really fun. Death Stranding. Okay, so like, I really have no clue how to evaluate this game, partly because I haven't played it yet and refuse to spoil myself by watching streams or videos of it, but also because what I've heard is that it's an incredibly Kojima-like which for me I see as an absolute win. I'm gonna get around to it early next year when it drops on PC though. Game of the Year. Okay, this is the moment you've all been waiting for, my Game of the Year. This year's was a lot harder to decide than previous years because there were so many potential winners that could have taken the spot for me. And sure, this game may have seen its fair share of controversy before release, but once people started playing it, they realized how incredible it actually is, and how it will stand as a shining example for the next games in its series to come. And at the end of the day, there's only one game this year that stands above the rest for me, and that game is Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting the level of quality that we got with this game. I went to it expecting Fire Emblem Fates 2.0, and I ended up getting one of the greatest, most fun, most loved tactical strategy games in recent memory. Let me break it down for you. First, you have the tried and true combat and strategy that returning players love and that new players will enjoy. And then sprinkle in some older mechanics to spice up the difficulty of the game, like Fog of War and breaking weapons. And then mix it all together with some new styles of play to the game and the most interesting enemy unit type ever, the demonic beasts. Second, let's take each house and fill it with absolutely fantastic characters that are dorky, lovable, and all written really well. Then, let's create an environment where we can let those characters all interact with each other and react to what is happening in the story, and let the player be at the center to experience it all. Oh, and if having good main characters wasn't good enough, let's also write a minor character that doesn't even have a name and give him one of the best character arcs in the entire game. I love you, Gatekeeper!
Greetings, Professor! Nothing to report. Are you settled in here at the monastery yet? Make sure to have a good look around. There's much to see.
Third, can we talk about this music? In addition to the game soundtrack being the hottest fire ever, we also don't have to listen to the ocean's grey waves being shoved down our throats every 10 minutes. Thanks, Azura. But seriously, everything from the monastery BGM to the various battle tracks to this boppin' theme you're hearing right now. And another thing I like is that if you have any Fire Emblem amiibos, you can scan them in at the Amiibo Gazebo and get a ton of classic Fire Emblem tracks that you can play during your optional quests. I personally used March to Deliverance and With Mila's Divine Protection for a lot of my optional quests, and it was so much fun hearing them again. Fire Emblem 3 Houses is the pinnacle of gaming for me this year, and I truly believe that it will set a standard for both new Fire Emblem games to come, as well as other tactics games. It's so hard to believe that this series was on the verge of death just before Awakening, and now it's stronger than ever with 3 Houses. I couldn't be happier. Fear the deer. And there we have it. Another year, another video. It was so tough ranking these games, even though I do believe they're all Game of the Year candidates. Oh, sorry, am I forgetting something? That game I totally snubbed? Well, I guess you're right. I should say I wouldn't consider it as part of my top 10, but I do believe a bonus honorable mention is in order. Ahem. Extra honorable mention. Yes, Luigi's Mansion 3 is pretty darn awesome. Truth be told, I haven't quite played it yet, but I've really liked what I've seen from it so far, and plan on picking it up on a rainy day sometime in the near future. Also, props to Nintendo for releasing it on Halloween. That's a power move if I ever saw one. That's it, no other games I missed or completely glossed over, right? Alright, I'll do it. Extra honorable mention. Pokemon Sword and Shield were low-key some of the most fun I've had in a game in a long while. But to keep this video from going on forever, I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet. The characters you meet and see grow over the journey are incredible. Pop especially. Y'all need to drop your hate Metapod and actually read the text in the game. And yes, we're keeping this channel family friendly. Drop the hate Metapod. The wild area is by far the best new addition. Free roaming amongst the wild Pokemon, changing weather conditions, secrets to find, and Dynamax raid battles are incredibly fun to do with friends. Also, the music is so fresh. Oh, and that Toby Fox theme in the Battle Tower is dope. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with Pokemon Sword and Shield. Okay, now that everything's covered, if you made it this far into the video, I want to extend my biggest thanks to you, dear viewer. Making these has become a labor of love, and if I can talk about my favorite games for this long and have you listen in, makes them all the more worth it. And gosh, I'm gonna be so busy with games next year too. Just look at this lineup already. But that's it for me now. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season, stay safe, play some fun games, and I'll see you all in the new year. Until then, this is the Salmon Pink signing off, and have yourselves a damn good one.